I think some things happened last night.
They did.
Anything else go on last
Big
upset
upset on Dancing with the Stars. Lele Pons kicked off. I couldn't believe. I think they should investigate. That was a big voting issue. What else did you look at?
Spicer, I was so excited to be here with you today because are you tired of winning yet?
Well, I've saved a little bit of extra gas in the tank.
Bigger upset than me not being sexiest man alive.
Yeah, there you go. That was the second one.
Close.
Yeah.
Democrats take control of the entire Virginia legislature. The Democrat wins in Kentucky. What else am I missing here? Huge vote in Ohio with abortion.
Yeah.
You two spiking the football today?
Well, look, and Virginia. I mean, we had Youngkin, who I guess some people had like this pipe dream that he was going to come in late and he was going to.
him.
There were some people who were thinking that, and he was defeated pretty soundly.
Can I add some context to this, just so we're clear? The state Senate was controlled by Democrats. Republicans needed 2 to flip.
Talking about Virginia.
Virginia, right. They picked up 1. So Republicans made progress. They didn't make enough. Fair enough. We lost that. And then we barely lost the House of Delegates that was barely controlled. My firm represented 10 clients last night. 8 of 10 won. This was about how people messaged, how people got out the vote. In the state House, there were 10 candidates. In the state Senate, there were 7. They were competitive. This was competitive through and through on both sides. And if you look at the margin of victory in each of these races, it was close. Now, Republicans lost both, so I'm not trying to sugarcoat this, but the idea that this was some kind of blowout is just a misreading of the election. It was a misreading. I think the issue of abortion was paramount last night, but it was about the messaging on abortion, not the issue of abortion.
We're going to get to that in a second.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I mean, first of
Which
all,
part?
All of that, Sean, actually. So the battleground last night was Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, Mississippi. If I gave Republicans that battleground every cycle, you'd be winning every single national election, wouldn't you? That was a blowout in terms of where the map was. And on abortion, Democrats have outperformed the partisan trend by 11 points all year in special elections because folks are red hot on this issue. The data is evidently clear, and it's not about the messaging. It's about the fact that a right was taken away, and they want that right back.
That's not true. And by the way, look, again, when you get to Kentucky, we lost a very popular governor, an incumbent governor, didn't get defeated, but every other statewide race in the state went Republican.
I want to
again. I'm not sugarcoating it. Just context.
I want to
matters.
ask you about messaging and abortion in a second, Mick.
We'll get to abortion in a second, but I actually think the Spice Rack is right about some of this, which is that you look at the margin in Kentucky, and a popular incumbent governor won by a little bit more than he did 4 years ago. In Mississippi, a popular incumbent governor won by about the same as he did 4 years ago. The races in Virginia were tight. Abortion, different story, separate conversation, but there was no groundswell of an uprising in support of Democrats last night.
All right, so a common thread throughout the evening, voters on abortion. We got some clear-cut data in Ohio. According to our partners at Decision Desk HQ, roughly 50% of Ohioans wanted to enshrine abortion rights in their constitution. That's actually just the final poll there. You can see that was about plus 13, plus 12.5 in that state.
And it's shocking because today they're saying they want to go at it again. And I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on the next ballot. Evidently, you know, they had the plan for a 6-week ban. This was in place until a judge threw it out. There was a 12-year-old who couldn't get an abortion. People said, we want people to be able to make their own decisions. More than 10 points. We had the conversation yesterday where we thought, you know, 10 points was going to be good for Democrats. More than 10 points. Right. And yet, for whatever reason, Republicans are saying, we're going to go at it again.
So you say that this was a messaging issue. We have Democrats that sit on this set and say, well, Bidenomics is a messaging issue. No, it's not. There are policy issues that Americans don't like. So how can you say Bidenomics is a messaging issue when you look at the last abortion races all over the country? In the Midwest, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, red states, Montana, Kansas, blue states, Vermont, California. It's 8 wins in a row.
So just to be clear, I put this at the top of my Twitter feed. I wrote an op-ed in The Hill that laid this out several weeks ago saying Republicans were about to blow this. Here's what I mean by this. We're, as Republicans, playing defense on this, talking about a 15-week ban or this. Democrats are the ones with the offensive, are with the extreme position. They want abortion till birth. Ralph Northam, the former governor, a doctor in Virginia, said very clearly, we wait for the baby to come out, we make a decision, keep it comfortable, and then we decide what to do. That is murder. That's infanticide. Republicans chose not to go on offense on this. Whether you agree with this or not, the idea of the Youngkin plan was to sit back and play defense on abortion.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.